Hello everyone, this is Jasmine from Jazz Draws Art, and I am back with my playing card series for Outlander. I decided, with a little help from you guys, that I would start combining my characters into shorter videos, where that way things can start moving along and you can see the full deck much faster. Now, I decided I'm just going to finish off the queens in this video because I only had the two left. And then after this, it will be much bigger chunks of cards will be done. So don't worry, when I said I was combining, I wasn't doing only two. I will be doing many more cards, and I am getting ready to start putting the decks together. So next up, for Queen of Diamonds, we have Brianna Fraser. Of course, I prefer to call her Fraser because Jamie is her real father, but she was raised by Frank. So, obviously, if you're going to have Roger be one of the kings, you need to make Brianna, his queen, because they have to be side by side. I often tried to do the couples because they're like great power couples, some of my favorite characters, and so I had to make sure that I got Brianna in here. Sophie Skelton has such nice features, and I think she really pulls off walking the line between looking like Jamie and looking like Claire. Even though, yes, she is a hired actress, she does pull off having the personality that is a bit of each. And I tried to mix all these different pictures for her to try and give her like a general look of how she looks in the show. I debated doing her hair straight like she did when she was in the 60s, but I, in the long run, thought she has her hair up more often in the later seasons, so I tried to do a little bit of each, and of course I did my sketch, and then later on went back in and edited it, and came back with the finished line art. So here you can see me coloring her in. I really tried to make sure that she had like the delicate enough features and that she really could be seen from a distance with her curly, wavy, red hair like her father. Not to mention though, both her parents do have curly hair, so she takes after both of them. I also thought that when I was selecting the color for her hair from the photos that it wasn't quite red enough. It was always a bit too brown for me. So I decided to make her look more like her father, and I used the same orange that I used for Jamie's hair. Even though I know hers is slightly different, I just wanted the oranges and reds to match when you print them out, so that way you can obviously tell they both have red hair. I really enjoyed drawing her. I think she's a very pretty actress. I think she's a very good actress and a really great choice for Brianna. I don't always agree with Brianna's choices, but I do think in the long run she is a good character. My favorite screen time with her was it was definitely when she went back in time. Spoilers if you haven't seen this far, but if you're watching this, then you've probably already seen all the show, but I digress. My favorite part is when she went back in time to go warn her parents about their obituary that she found, and she met Jamie for the very first time. I always get emotional at that part. I always love that part. You can just really feel the emotions from both characters, and nothing makes me happier than seeing Jamie happy, and he finally gets to be with one of his kids. So I greatly enjoyed that scene, and I think about it a lot. I know that there is a lot more to come with Brianna in the coming seasons, and I know that further on in the books as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Sophie Skelton's performance in season 6, and especially for season 7, because things are going to keep building, but season 7 I've heard is going to have more episodes to make up for the lack of episodes that have been coming. Because I think season 6 only has 8 episodes, if I'm correct, or 6. Don't quote me on that, but still, it has fewer. So As you can see, I'm taking from the others to have the backing for the Fraser tartan that I highlighted blue, and also trying to get the queen in the frame. Everything so that I can put it behind Brianna and make sure everything's the right alignment and colors. It's hard because on my first attempt at doing this pattern, I had accidentally colored white on the original, so now every time I go into it I have to fix it, but not to worry, I do know how to fix the pattern, and I just use selection tools to make sure everything's nice and aligned and straight, and use the eyedropper tool to select the exact color that I need. The hardest part with doing these cards is making sure that the characters are all going to line up, that they're all going to be roughly about the same size, fill up the same amount of space on their card, because some show more of their body than others, and some only go up to just where their shoulders are. But I think that it also gives a bit of personality to each card to show how big or little they are. Next, for the final queen, we have Geillis Duncan, or Jillian Edgars. Geillis, yes, Geillis Duncan. You can't really have Outlander without Geillis Duncan, and for the Spades suit, I decided to make that one the villain suit. So I have Geillis as the queen with Blackjack Randall, Jonathan Wolverton Randall, as the king. These two are probably the most terrifying that we've seen so far on the shows, and also I don't think there's another female character on the show this far that has done as much as Geillis has done in terms of being a villain. So I really love the performance that was done. I think she did a spectacular job. I'm really happy with the way that the drawing came out, especially after I touched it up. I think it really pulls off the kind of look I was going for Geillis. The reference photo I'm using, she looks a bit more scared, so you can see a little bit from the first season, but in my interpretation, my drawing, she looks maybe slightly more, I wouldn't say happy, but you'll see it's a bit more of a contented face. Whereas I know the rest of the cards, they're a bit more serious, but she has a bit more of a something applauding kind of look about her. And I really love doing this angle and her hair like this to show a bit more of her personality. I know she's had many different looks, but this is probably one of the easiest to recognize looks of hers. And I really liked the way the dress was done and her little choker scarf. And so I really enjoyed drawing this one and coloring it in. I love the way that the hair turned out, especially. Geillis, for those that haven't watched this far, once again, with any of these videos, I would say spoilers, and if you do not wish to know, you can simply mute the video. But yes, Geillis, at first you feel uneasy about her, and then you like her for what she did for Claire at the witch trials, and then later on you see that she really starts to go a little bit crazy and tries to kill Brianna. So doing these two back to back was kind of a fate thing. I didn't plan it this way, but I guess it kind of makes sense. She wanted to go back so she could fulfill the prophecy of having a Scottish king or queen once again on the throne, so that Scotland could be ruled by a Scottish person. She really cracks me up when I see her with Jamie, mostly because you can just tell Jamie so does not want to be even within the vicinity of Geillis. Like, he just really is uncomfortable around her, and he's still always polite, but he's always saying, like, Claire, stay away from her, like, she's a bad influence. There's just something about her. I've never had a good feeling about her, and he was right. He was 100% right. And so I just really love those interactions. Of course, she was probably one of Claire's first friends in Cranesmere, so we got to see her open up Claire and her character so we could hear some of what she was thinking and how she was trying to tiptoe around in the time period when she first arrived there. I really like doing this design. I think the hardest part for me was making sure everything lined up, because obviously when you flip the colors you have to make sure that all the lines are within the colors, all within the line, so nothing sticking out, no pixelation, because once it prints I want everything to come out nice and clean. So I did have to keep going back and tweaking and moving layers individually just to make sure that they all lined up 100% the way I wanted them to. So with a little bit of filling in the dead pixels, putting in the background, making sure that everything was cleared up in the way it was meant to be, we finally have Brianna, Queen of Diamonds, and Geillis, Queen of Spades. That is it for the Queens of the Outlander cards, and I will be back with much more and much less videos for this series. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to my channel for more content. Leave a comment down below. I'll probably respond. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I'll see you next week.